Make sure everyone tune in. Hello, can you hear me? All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, IAAH Radio Plus. How you doing out there? Tuning in? You got your popcorn, guys? How you do? Subscribers, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate each and every one of you. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope I have actual. Do you hear me sound? Okay, great. Hi, everyone. So, thanks for joining me again this nice, beautiful Saturday up here in the mountains. A balmy 77. Can you believe that? We had actually, I believe it was 40 degrees yesterday for 2 days. But it is beautiful outside, and I'm ready to go hit that outdoors in a few after this show. So, thank you for joining me. I am your host with the most, Judge Desire for Knowledge. Come check me out every Saturday at 3 for Know Your Truth Real Talk, every end of the month on Saturdays for Legal Affairs. And there's a good one coming up soon. So, how you all doing out there? You guys ready for this? All right. So you know how when I do Know Your Truth Real Talk, it's mainly about, we talk about things as actual time in real time. Yeah. And the truth is the truth, right? The truth is our opinions, sometimes facts and sometimes both. Like I said, I deal with experience on a personal level, work level, especially a work level, as I told you, and life experiences mostly. Not just mine, sometimes it is, and mostly it's others. Like I said, where I work, my employment considers relationships and everything. So again, I'm coming on here, this channel, and this week's episode on Know Your Truth Real Talk is on relationships. And guess what that title is? I guess you already know, you guys. You guys got in here a long time ago or not, but it's love, lies, and lack of growth. Uh-huh. Why some never level up. And that's really important because I've seen this happen in the workplace as well as other relationships and even my own years ago, where let's just clear this up early before I go there. Just because someone can pay bills doesn't mean they're grown up, okay? See, age is automatic, but maturity, that's subscription service, okay? And a lot of people cancel it. So when you're dealing with people that don't want to mature on a mental, like mentally mature, but they look mature, you got to know the difference here. Okay, remember your childhood where some of us are still living in it actually, and some had to grow up fast. We don't know why, but some of us had to grow up fast without a childhood for whatever reason. Remember that? Yeah. And so, with that being said, this segment is based on that. And I know a lot of people think that we shouldn't be talking about this, but we should, because sometimes not only do you date this, you marry this, and you end up divorcing this. So it's really important to see um, before you make those steps. Okay, dating will be your first acknowledgement of things like this, that you are ready, maturely ready to get to someone on your level that's going to be leveled up with you. So we're going to define the differences right now between a boy and a man. All right. And I'm not talking in vocabulary words, I'm just talking in actions. So a boy usually avoids responsibility. Yeah. To them, it's like a bill collector or, something that they don't want to take care of. A man handles responsibility, that's for sure, even when he doesn't feel like it. Because, come on, we're not going to be liars here. Sometimes we don't feel like taking care of our bills, we want to do something else with it. But a man, and as well as a woman, but we're talking about men right now, an actual man versus a boy, a real man is going to take care of his bills, even if he doesn't feel like it. All right. I'm just describing now the differences, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you join in and catch up. A girl wants attention from everyone. You notice that? You notice those people that are always on Facebook, they got to show their rear ends, their face, their chest all day long. Usually those are little girls. Believe me. Yeah. I mean, you should be proud of yourself, but why does the whole world have to see it? You know it. You know it already. So there's no need. I mean, a woman gets respect from the right ones, okay? and ignores the rest like spam calls. In other words, we don't have to do that. A real woman gets respect no matter what. They don't have to go out there trying to get the attention. The attention comes to them. They're the attention getters. They don't have to even try. Even if they come out there without makeup, without overdressing, they're still gonna be they're gonna get the attention because they're not trying too hard. Do you ever see those girls and guys? I guess, but I know with women, they try too hard, they overdo. Yeah, stop. Overdo is not what we need today. Overdo is like something's wrong with you. Like you could love yourself, but when you overdo it, there's something you have to look in the inner of yourself, like self-esteem issues, because we all love to do look great. There's no reason with it about it. But if you're not going to a wedding or something else that's an important venue or something that, and even sometimes you do go to important venues and you don't have to overdo it. I don't know. I don't think I have to, and neither does my friends. We don't overdo stuff like that. But we've seen the overdue girls. We just talking about those girls right now. And obviously those are the ones that have self-esteem issues. They're not women. They haven't grown yet. They still in their childhood playing with their dolls, you know. You know that term, tricks are for kids? Yeah, that. Um, let's get back to the subject. A boy says, I'll see. You know, they'll always like, I'll see what I could do. Uh, we'll think about it. I'll think about it, which is good to think about it, but I'll see. No. A man says, I'll be there and shows up. That's when you're clear headed. You know what you're doing. You got your head on your shoulders. All right. And you know what you're doing. That's when you're a man. All right. So these childish ways versus a mature man, mature woman versus a little girl. You can see it all here, right here, in the differences I'm explaining to you on this show, my show, Know Your Truth, Real Talk. Come back every Saturday at 3. Anyway, a girl says, I'm not like other girls. Why do you need to tell people that? You don't have to tell people you're not like other girls because a woman doesn't have to announce it. People figure it out real quick. Have you ever seen the difference between a girl or a woman, gentlemen or ladies? But the difference between a boy and a man? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to bring it right at you. I might not have all of it because I'm about to go out and about. I'm just going to bring what I can at this time, and maybe I'll have a part two. We'll see. But let's go on to relationships where foolishness gets loud. All right. And have you ever seen that foolishness? I've seen it. I've seen it in the courtroom all the time and in the courthouse and outside. So relationships where foolishness gets loud. All right, for instance, let's put a boy and girl together and call it a relationship. Let's just say that, right? Now you got arguments about likes. Oh, did you like my page? Did you not like my page? I mean, that's something you can ask some, but if this is all the time, did you see my last post? I'm going to have an investigation over my last post because I didn't see you see that. Or I want to see if they saw my last post. Whatever the case is, you know, the social media drama that goes on, and court cases, your own personal court cases about who posted what. That's not love, people. That's not a relationship. That's digital surveillance without emotions. So be careful when you're dealing with a girl boy. Okay? This is what you get from them. They always, oh, you didn't like my page, you didn't see my page. Oh, you saw my page and you didn't say anything. Why are you looking at that person's page? Why are you not looking at my page? You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna go there because that's little girl stuff. Now a man and a woman together, they communicate, they're consistent, hmm and they don't need a detective. They need a calendar because grown folks don't play hide and seek. All right, people, they don't. They play, are we doing this or not? That's exactly my point. Are we doing this or not? Like, I want to reach that level I need to. I want to get to that place I have to get to. And I'm not talking about a disco like the little kids would do. We're talking about meeting legacies, getting to it, financial gain, things like that. Not that little girl and boy stuff. All right? So let's talk about that, right? Money and motives. Ooh, a boy will spend his last $200 trying to look rich. You've seen them out there. I'm going to get those sneakers. I don't wear sneakers, so I don't know the hottest name brands. I could care less. I don't invest in sneakers. I invest in other stuff. I clearly not gonna say here, but it's definitely not the little boy stuff. Oh, I'm gonna get a gold chain, and it's good to treat yourself once in a while. But if that's all you're investing in, a gold chain, sneakers, invest in a place to live. If you don't want a house, don't get a house. If you want a condo, invest in that. Um, but invest in something worthwhile at the end. A vehicle you could get around. If you don't, it's expensive. I don't blame you. But sneakers? Nah, that's little boy stuff, guys. I'm sorry. It's nice. You get it once. You're like, I'm good. I think they call it kicks. Yeah, I got my kicks. Um, but if that's all you ever showing on social media is all your new shoes, what else you got going on? We don't really need to know. But the fact is, do you have anything else going on? Because men don't do that. A man will save his 200 and be stable later. You see, that's the difference between a boy and a man. So when you're dating these type of men, ladies, and this is for you, make sure if they're buying all this stuff and you're hip with it, then you belong together. Your boys and girl relationship. But if you are a man and a woman, that's not what's going to happen in that scenario. Guarantee that that won't be. And if it's mismatch, someone's going to tell you about it. They're going to go, wait a minute, hey, we're supposed to be investing here, not buying shoes, clothes, and blah, blah, blah all the time. All right, so a girl will say, I need a man with money. You ever hear them all the time? Oh, yeah, well, I'm not going to work for nothing in my life. That's what they here for. I don't need to work. I don't need to get a job. I don't need this. I don't need that. Where a woman says, I need a man with discipline, because money without discipline disappears like your refund, your tax refund this year. Did any of you guys get your tax refund yet? Let's see. Has it disappeared? Yeah, we all got bills sometimes and bigger than that. But has it disappeared on foolishness? That's how you're going to know the maturity level of the person you are and the person you're with or not with, you know? The truth is, if somebody only loves you when you're spending money, you're not in a relationship. You're on a payment plan. Just letting you know, just keeping it real. Yeah, you're on a payment plan. So we're going to move on now from the money motives to marriage, the truth nobody posts about. All right. And I said this before in one of my last sessions on relationships, I believe. Or was it games people play? Go check those out. I have all those videos up. They're pretty cool. You can check out which subject relates to you or not relate, and you just want to check it out. All right. So we're on marriage. And this is the truth that nobody posts. And I said it before, marriage doesn't upgrade you, it reveals you. By the time you have dated someone, sometimes you don't even know who they are. But once you marry them, oh my goodness, you found out who you married. Oh my God, sometimes it will be the best thing that ever happened to you. And sometimes it will be the worst nightmare that ever happened to you. I hope it's the first and not the latter. Um, because you can get, this is how you start to decipher. If you get serious in a relationship and it's serious enough for you, then you want to define it. You want to make sure that these things that I'm telling you are correct. Let me check that out. Is he a boy or a man? Is she a girl or a woman? Okay, and we know the sex. We're not talking about that. Are you grown or are you still in your childhood? That's what we're talking about today. All right. For instance, marriage reveals you. So a boy gets married, right? And suddenly they feel restricted. Oh my gosh, I can't go out and see people that I want to see, hang out with my boys and be stupid. Well, I'm sorry, hang out with my boys and get it. Yeah, you could do that, but now you can hang out with your wife. A man gets married and starts thinking legacy. How am I going to build from here? What am I going to do to make sure that we have a great future together, that we're going to be here in our senior citizen years with money that we don't have to worry about. And when we retire, we good. That kind of thing. That's a man thinking there. Now, a girl in marriage keeps score like it's the playoffs. You know that, right? I did this, you didn't do that. I cooked, you didn't cook. You blinked wrong. You know, things like that will upset a little girl. Oh, you didn't talk to me. I wanted someone to talk to me. That's why I went out and played you dirty. Things like that, stupidity. Real little girl stuff. Tricks are for kids, ladies and gentlemen. And we're talking about women now, so we finished with the boys right now. We're talking about little girls. And these are the things that they do. Always going to have a reason to do what they feel that is correct, because they're going to feel like, oh, this is what I need to do because you didn't do this and you didn't do that, instead of coming forward and speaking like grown adults should do, in a marriage anyway, because that's what we're talking about right now. It takes communication, ladies and gentlemen. Or don't get married. Some of you aren't. Good for you. If you can't communicate, stay there. It's not for you, because it takes adulthood to do a lot of things in life that some people just aren't going to do. And we just got to keep it real, right? I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat people. I'm not. So they have channels for that. I'm going to keep it real here as much as I can, because I've been through this realness and a lot of other people as well. So why not keep it real so other people don't get involved in mistakes and hurt, pain, and all that sufferings? If we could save other people from doing the mistake, getting to the mistakes, why not help out, right? Yeah. So a woman, she's not going to keep score. She's building something that lasts longer than an argument. You understand? Because the truth is, because grown people don't argue to win, they argue to solve. And that's what grown people do in marriages. They don't argue to win. I won this, I did this, and that's it. Because of you. No, they argue to solve, because no marriage is perfect out there. Are you all listening to me? Nothing is perfect out there. No dating, relationships, partnerships, none. But in order to get it to something close to it, because nothing's ever going to be perfect. Who wants that anyway? It's probably boring. You come together as one if you're really serious, and you work it out. Everybody else, um, when grown people don't argue to win, they argue to solve, because everybody else just wants a rematch. And that's all they continue to do, a cycle of rematch after rematch after rematch in a marriage, instead of vocally stating what they want, what it is, and how they can fix it. Now, let's talk about this one, breakups, all right? Where acting shows up, breakups are actually the final exam. Have you ever thought of that? This is how you know a boy turns into a motivational speaker overnight with a comeback, okay? You lost a real one, man. You lost a real one. This is what boys say. They have to let you know that. Sir, you lost your job twice this year. You never had money in your pockets. I'm good. You know? This is what I'm talking about. So a man says, what did I learn from this? And he moves accordingly. So when you know the difference between a boy's motives and a man's motives, you're going to know the truth. Because that's one thing that I notice about real men. I'm not going to say real men, a man and a boy. And I've dated both. So I can actually tell you it exists. And same with females, but I don't date females. So I'm sure you guys, you've been out there with the little girls that play like women until you find out who they really are, and find out they've never grew up. They never stop playing with their dolls. They don't stop manipulation. They don't stop tricks. Because real women don't have to do that. We don't play tricks. We don't have time for kids. We move forward and upwards, and we get what we need going. We work hard on making sure and in building, not destroying people, okay, or our relationships. All right, only little girls do that. Let me quote you, men. Quote the real women out there, because that's what we do, right, ladies? All right. Like I said, a man says, what did I learn from this, and moves accordingly. Okay. Now this isn't a breakup. We're here in the breakup mode, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going back to the little girls. A girl goes FBI mode, okay? Checking pages, calling friends, running a full investigation like she's about to file charges. And most of them do, because I've seen them in the courthouse doing it, just because. And you can file false charges, but later it's going to affect you, not only the person, but yourself as well. So don't think you're getting the one over on the courts, because sooner or later you get caught out there. So please, ladies, don't play your little games, your little tricks, little girls. Really grow up. And a woman, she blocks, heals, upgrades, and disappears like a good decision, because that's what's supposed to be done. You say, and I don't mean that disappearing where you act like, all right, I moved on, but you in the background causing havoc and chaos. Not those women. Those are still little girls. Break up to make up. Exactly. Those are the ones that they play the part, but they in the background doing other things. Yeah, I'll have a show on that one later. But so don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. We know what you're doing behind the scenes. You're not. You still a little girl. A real woman does the real decision to disappear, and never ever counteract by doing malicious stuff. Nowadays, this all over social media. How people are doing witchcraft. Like who does this stuff? Losers. That's who. And until we understand that these are losers, then we're never going to get the picture, and you don't even know about it. But I can't turn on social media without something stupid like that coming on. So I'm like, you know what? I know it exists because the stupid people exist. So be very careful about one that actually moves on for real, and the ones that actually moves on and behind the scene, they doing other stuff behind your back, either filing reports. You find out you got a, TOP, temporary order of protection, on you, or restraining order, or RO. These are the things that little girls do. All right. And so now, one thing a woman does, the real women, they block, they heal, they disappear like a good decision. No announcement, no drama, just elevation. Those are true women. That means, like, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't need child support, you don't need to go to the court for that. You can speak to your spouse or your ex-spouse or whatever. Little girls play those games. Okay, that's why we're filled with little girls in the courthouses. It's time to stop bringing your business there. I'm gonna keep saying it every time. It's embarrassing for you. Now, for us, it's embarrassing for us to see you. I'm gonna say that. We can't tell you that, but it's the truth. It's sad, but we know you need it, and if you need it, do it in a different way. You can come together, maturely, like women and men do, and work it out. Instead of, I'll still have my job because there's always going to be a criminal or something else. So don't worry about me. Either way, we're going to move on to why people stay stuck. You know why people stay stuck? I've been there before. Because growth is uncomfortable. Busy trying to destroy instead of working together. Yeah, that's the number one right there. You know, people are busy trying to destroy instead of, and that's a male right there. So that's true. Thank you. I mean, from a male point of view, yeah, they too busy trying to destroy instead of working together because they feel like they've been bamboozled. Whatever the case is, that's what happens on both sides. Not just little girls, little boys do the same thing, but it's horrible. All right, so let me move back on to why people get stuck. People get stuck because growth is uncomfortable for them. It requires accountability, and a lot of people don't like accountability. Some people treat it like it's a scam. You know, it's a scam call. Decline, decline, decline. So when we don't want to be accountable for our own actions, this is what happens. You know, you'll treat it like a scam call every time. So you see a scam call on your phone, don't you press decline? That's what they do with accountability. Am I right or wrong? Let me know in the comments because we've seen it. Everyone's done it once or twice, but once you grow up and you realize it, you change your actions and motivations, um, because it does require discipline to actually be accountable for things that you do. Doing what needs to be done requires discipline. Now, what feels good in the moment, it also requires self awareness. Yeah. And let's be honest, some people don't reflect, they deflect. When it comes to self awareness, they don't want to be aware of their mistakes. And until we become accountable for our own mistakes, it's like I have a show, Look in the Mirror. I did a few months ago, maybe. Yeah, look in the mirror and stop pointing fingers at people. I've done it. I've looked in the mirror and seen where I was faulted of my own things in life, not just a relationship, in life, and where I failed myself. And once you can do that, you have grown up. You have become the woman or man, and you're no longer that little boy or little girl. Everything is someone else's fault when it's a little girl or a little boy. The job, the ex, the dog, the weather. It could be anything. At some point, if everything smells bad, folks, check your own shoes. Because, like I said, look in the mirror. All right. At some point, if everything smells bad, check your own shoes. Yeah, do that because it's going to be important that you check yourself before you point your fingers I'm not saying that it's not happening, but you have to check yourself and see what part you played in that relationship, whether it be a marriage, or dating, or whatever the case may be. What took place and how you played in that one. And then forgiveness is really good, whether you talk to the person or never talk to them again. A big part of relationship is whether it failed or not. You have to forgive. It's very important to do so and move on, please. Oh, some people, you don't know how to move on. You just got to keep going and going, using the children, family, go to the family, talk to them about your life because you're unhappy with yours. And so this is where we need to grow up, because this is what happens next: divorce. Divorce, when lessons get expensive. This is when your lessons get expensive, folks. It really does. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about divorce. To my listeners and my viewers, I want to talk about that. You already paid tuition in the school of hard lessons, right? Some didn't just lose a relationship. If you're divorced, listen up, my viewers and my viewers and my listeners. You not only lost the relationship, you lost time, money, peace, and a bit of patience. And this is true. And here's the truth nobody says out loud, okay? A lot of divorces aren't about love disappearing. They're about, sometimes they are, but they're about immaturity being exposed. When someone sees the immaturity, they don't want to be there. But this should have been done. There's some people that are good at hiding, but this should have been done during the dating parts of the relationship. But sometimes that is, it's concealed. This is when you're a good liar or manipulator or a narcissist. They're good at that. But or you just ignored the red flags, right? But this is about immaturity being exposed. Okay, some people didn't marry wrong, they married potential. That's another thing. And potential will have you out here in year 6 saying, I just know they're going to change. And they're never going to change, ladies and gentlemen. Meanwhile, they change their phone password. That's about it, not their behavior. So that is an issue we got to look at. And the difference after divorce, that was divorce. Now, after divorce, an immature person after divorce says, all men are trash, all women are the same, blah, blah, blah. Those are immature people, all right? A mature person would say, I ignored the red flags. I won't do that again. One becomes bitter if you not acknowledge and you notice that, and the other becomes better with boundaries. And ladies and gentlemen, again, go check my other um, videos on boundaries for everybody, for family boundaries, for exes boundaries. I just keep going on. When I find another topic, I'm going to put it there, because boundaries is so important. I never used to have boundaries until my children, well, my young adult children taught me, people have to have boundaries. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I never had that at work or anywhere. And now that I put up boundaries, it's like, it's like, how do I explain it? You have now gained um uh what's the word? I was just saying it to someone the other day. Your respect back, because you allowed people to walk over you like a walking mat when you don't have boundaries. And now that you've pulled yourself and together, and now you're in control of your own self, people don't like it. They don't like that, because that's what boundaries is. You control your own self, your own right, and you tell people what it is you like and what you don't, being real. And if they don't like it, they have every right to move on. But not saying it is when people walk over us, okay? And I'll keep it there. You can go check those videos out on boundaries. They're pretty cool. Cool. All right. And so then we have this other subject of dating after divorce. You remember you got divorced. First you was dating already. Now you've gone into marriage. Some of you are still dating, but you're learning the lessons, right? Well, let's hope so, because some of you all got back into dating like it's a clearance sale. No refunds, no receipts, just vibes. I feel this person, I want to be with them. Slow down, please slow down, because you don't just have standards, now have the experience, right? Because all that I just told you, you should have learned from. And please, if you mature, you've learned. If you want to stay that little girl and boy, you haven't learned. You can spot a red flag like 14 karat, okay, gold when you see it on somebody. You ever see those shiny gold on the wrappers and stuff like that? It's so shiny, right? You can actually see that as a red flag now. You don't need 6 months. You don't need 3 conversations. It takes that less than that now because you have the experience. Ignoring peace because it feels boring is what a lot of people do. And that's what stability feels like. That's not what stability feels like when you're used to chaos. So a lot of people ignore peace because it's boring to them. That's what's and know that that's what a stability feels like when you're used to chaos. So a lot of people are into chaotic things, and if they don't have it around their life, have you ever seen it when you're on the train and going to work and stuff, that people always like a lot of chaos energy? They're used to it, or relationships that's chaotic and they go back into more and more and more. Every relationship they have is chaotic. Whatever the case is, they're always chaotic. There's a reason for that. They think that's the norm, because peace is too boring for them. So they need that attention. That's a part of attention too. And so be careful of those type of people. If you are in a relationship that someone needs attention, so they're yelling all the time in front of people and all that, get out now because they like that chaotic thing. But my favorite thing here is when not just the chaos, but when people say they're trying to fix someone. You're not a rehab center. So why are you trying to fix something that can't be fixed if they haven't worked on it? Because all people can change. It's that some people won't. And that's what we need to find. If it's going fast enough for you or not, or is it happening not happening at all, then you need to know, make your own decisions on what you do in that relationship before it becomes divorce or marriage even, because you don't want to go that far. So in closing, I just want to say, so don't ask where all the good men and women are anymore. No. Ask, am I dealing with someone grown or just someone older due to age and not maturity? Because most of us, yeah, we do see that a lot. Is he trying to destroy? Okay. Because grown is a mindset, not a birthday. It doesn't matter if you're 40, 20, 30, 100. Is not dealt with the age of a person. It's a mindset. And if you're out here dating potential, please just remember this: potential doesn't pay the bills, it doesn't communicate, and definitely doesn't act right under pressure. Make that make sense. It doesn't. That's not a partner, that's a project. So be careful on dating projects and marrying one, because when you have to work that hard, now you have a project. That person has not left their childhood. I can't. I can't. I'm sorry. It's not funny, but sometimes we gotta laugh on this show because I don't want to take things so serious like it can't happen for people. It can. But in the same time, we could all laugh about it, right? Because we've all been there. I think I grew up pretty fast because I had no choice. But some people did. They still playing in the playgrounds, all right? The, the, the park in the children's playpen, that part. And so when I see these adults outside, they just look like adults, but they're acting like little boys or little girls. It fascinates me because I'm wondering, how long are they going to play? Playtime's over. Time to grow up. All right. And that's the truth. All right. Only here on my channel will you get that. So whether you're dating, married, or divorced, stop asking where are the good ones, please. Start asking, am I choosing differently or just hoping harder? You're hoping. Yeah, most of it are hoping, because hope without change is just wishful thinking that we can't control. You know, you can't hope on change. You got to make that change. And if you've already been through a breakup or a divorce, I'm sorry. That's not the part that I wanted to say, but I hope not. But you got something powerful. That's the positive. The negative is, I'm sorry you went there, But don't always look as that as discouraging. Look at that as a lesson learned. And don't repeat that lesson, because you're going to keep repeating it your whole lifetime. Don't forget that part. You got something powerful now that you've learned from, okay? And that is called clarity. Use it wisely. Yeah. Because mature people don't just fall in love, they make better decisions. Now that's real talk. So thank you for listening with me today. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to enjoy this balmy 77 degrees out here in the mountains. I'm going to be out and about. I will be putting a out and about up in a few days. Go check my grilling shorts. Well, not really shorts, videos I put up. I've been grilling. I've been grilling even in the cold. But I'm bringing you the truth and nothing but the truth, or Know Your Truth. Real talk with me, your host of the most. Judge Desire for Knowledge is now adjourned. And I will see you guys next week. Come check that out. Come check me out on all social media. Thank you. Excellent Real Talk. Yes, Real Talk. Come check me out on all social media. Tag me there. Any comments, come let me know. Only good comments, because I'm a grown woman. I'm not a little girl. I don't have time for tricks. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, IAAH Radio Plus. Go check them out. Oh my God. They have all genres on the Plus channel. IAAH Radio Plus is all genres. On the regular channel, it's all about house. IAAH Radio, you get house 24 hours a day with the best DJs in town. Thank you, DJ 5 a.m. and all the DJs, the great DJs out there. I don't know all your names, but I know one, DJ 5 a.m., DJ Buggin' Hard. Go check them out Tuesdays and Thursdays and 5 a.m. every day, I believe. Just go check that channel out. They have great music, and enjoy the music. Enjoy your day. Enjoy your weekend. Blessings to you all. I will see you next week, God willingly. You'll be here and I'll be here, but I'm going to get that message out for you guys.